What is up, Wretched Nation? Today we are going to talk about what happens when you trade your bike in at Bike Week. Alright, what is up, guys? We are on a 2014 Street Glide, and I rode my father-in-law's Street Glide and I loved it so much that I just decided to get on this bike. But it's not mine. I did not trade my Road Glide in. It is still safe and secure at the beach house that we rented. But my buddy actually traded his bike in. This is his. And if you watch some of the previous videos, he's the guy that has had the gold Softail black line. Well, he traded his in on a bagger, and this is it. I wanted to talk about it because I feel like he got a really good deal that you don't really think about when you're looking at bikes. Well, first off, I never really thought about trading a bike in at a bike week or something like that. But I come to find out that this bike actually was a pretty good deal. They had way more bikes for sale than I thought they would have. And there was even salespeople from like South Dakota, the Black Hills Harley. And I don't know if this bike came from there or anything like that. But what it looks like is they gathered up all their used bikes and they had them for sale there. At a couple dealerships around the area. I know the Harley shop near me, they take all their bikes out and it's just for rally stuff. And they take all their bikes and put them up north, and that's where we went. So this is a 2014 Street Glide Special, and he got it a couple days ago. Now I actually rode it that day because there's two bikes he was looking at. He was looking at this one and a stock silver one, and to be honest, I mean, there's no comparison at all. The stock one only had like 2,000 miles on it, which I think is crazy for a 14. That one might have been a 15 to have only 2,000 miles on it, and this one had 20,000 miles on it. Some of the people were like, oh, you know, that's got 20,000 miles on it, that one's only got 2,000. Well, 20,000 miles is nothing. I mean, yeah, you might need to start, you know, looking at the brakes, and there might be some little bit bigger services that need to be done that maybe haven't gotten done. But still, 20,000 miles, it's nothing. It's not like the motor's about to go out or the training's about to go out, as long as the ride's good. The clutch isn't quite adjusted to what I would normally ride, but, you know, it's not bad. But I still think it's a great bike. And I want to talk about what you can get when you do buy a used bike. I bought my Road Glide new because I couldn't find a Road Glide that I was interested in that didn't already cost close to what the brand new price was. Now this bike, it was under 20 grand. I can't remember. I wasn't there when he did the paperwork. You know, I was just hanging out. I wasn't trying to get into his business. But I know they gave him a really good deal on his trade-in. They're actually they gave him almost what he paid for the bike. They're trying to sell it more from what he even paid for it. But, so, if you do like that bike, it's at the North Myrtle Beach store in South Carolina. So if you do like that bike that you saw in a couple videos, there it is. But this bike has a ton of upgrades on it that would cost thousands of dollars. First and foremost, it definitely has at least the stage 1. They didn't have any records of the performance stuff. They had some paperwork for the audio system, and the audio system's definitely upgraded. The performance stuff, it's at least a stage 1. We don't know if it's got cams in it. You can't really hear it. A 2-in-1 definitely makes it a little quieter and hard to tell. But it's got a thunder header, 2-in-1. It's got the Arlen Ness like cone shaped breather. It sounds amazing. It rides great. This thing is pretty fast. It's a 103. It's the same motor he had. It's the same motor he had in his bike previous, and it's really peppy. So there might be cams, but I'm not going to go out and say that. But at the very least, full stage 1, that alone is probably worth $2,000 at least, depending on how it's tuned. There's not a whole lot of back popping and stuff like that, so I'm definitely sure that it's been tuned, but it's not bad at all. Tires on it were brand new, which is funny because his front tire on his soft tail was gone. He's gonna have to get a new one when we got back anyways. But the bars on here, you got bars and grips, that's probably close to $1,000. Yeah, the bars on this bike, it's probably close to $1,000. It feels just like the bars that my father-in-law has. They feel like the same height and everything. It's a different frame, so the whole bike doesn't feel exactly the same. The bars are a little too wide in my opinion. I don't know if it's just the fairing and these bars, but it makes me want to shimmy the front end like crazy. At slow speeds, the whole front end just wants to kind of do this. And I think it's just because my input is so wide on it and high up that it's hard to keep it steady. Now, you know, if I have it for some time and able to ride it some more and get used to it, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. But the bars plus this Clockworks windshield, it's a great windshield, but it's definitely on the higher end of cost. Those two things together are definitely worth $1,000. And the audio system on this bike is something I noticed right off the bat. It was loud, and especially riding this compared to a stock one just like it side by side. Because we actually took off on both bikes and we swapped, so we were able to take two bikes out. He let me, and the salesman let me ride one. So I rode both of these that same day, and this bike, you know, is just by far such a nicer bike. But the sound system on this is loud. He's got some paperwork on it. I haven't looked at it. I mean, it really doesn't matter. I guess you got what you got. But at least speaker upgrade and amp, so with installation you're probably looking at about another $1,000 there. Everything else seems to be pretty much stock. The seat's stock, but someone either conditioned the hell out of it, or I believe like all 20,000 miles of this were put on there with a passenger, because this seat is broken and comfortable. It's bike week. Even motorcyclists are going to cut you off. Because for a lot of people, this is the only time of year that they actually ride their bikes. Yeah, this bike overall I think is a great deal. I think it's definitely a sign of things that you can get if you just look around. You know, getting that new bike, again, I know it's kind of, you know, hypocritical, I guess, because I did it, but getting that brand new bike, you're gonna spend a lot more money in the long run for some stuff. I mean, obviously, if you get a used bike with a bunch of stuff on it, it needs to be stuff you like. Obviously, you need to like the paint, you need to like the bike, and you need to like the upgrades that it's given. But I mean, this is literally the type of breather he likes. That Arlen Ness bullet breather, the Thunder Header. I mean, I don't think there's anyone that hates the Thunder Header. It's like that old classic 2-in-1 that everyone runs and loves. It's got a perfect sound and style. But overall, I think it was a great purchase. It definitely shows you what you're able to get out there for not a whole lot of money. You know, he's got a fiance that loves to ride, and that Softail just won't doing it. And with that horrible storm we had coming through, I know he wishes he had this that day. But he's gonna have it on the way back. They're calling for rain. We'll see what actually happens. But overall, great bike. I'll stop up here at the gas station and get a little bit more footage of the bike itself. See, there's my road glide. I didn't get rid of it. I couldn't get rid of that thing. Well, here we are. We didn't stop at the gas station because it was completely packed. But I just wanted to point some things out of this bike. But it does have the Thunder Header 2-in-1. It's a little rusty, but honestly, most Thunder Headers, the shine on it is kind of like that, especially the black ones. Arlen Ness 2-in-1. I'm not sure how much these go for, but I know they're at least 250 bucks. They're not that cheap. Bike did have a couple imperfections. I guess it hit something, might have been dropped there. Paint's a little rusty here, and we saw that, and I told them, I said, look man, if you're gonna ride your bike, it's not gonna be perfect. You're gonna mess it up. In my opinion, it's better to get a better deal with better accessories, better things you want, versus trying to get a pristine new bike, have that payment, and then spend $4,000 more. Because it's got about $4,000 worth of stuff here extra, so that's not bad. You got the most cushioniest backrest, I don't even know if that's a word, backrest I've ever seen. But it's a great bike, and that's pretty much it right there. Comment down below what you think. Do you think this is a great upgrade from his Softail? I think it is. But definitely like the video. Comment what you think about this bike. Definitely subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And as always, keep it wretched.